Tonight, we are taking a look at a problem that affects nearly 2 billion people a year worldwide. We head to Namibia to see firsthand how a new organization is striving to help eradicate this nutritional problem.
One Namibia, one nation. That is the motto of the government of Namibia. Located on the southwest coast of Africa, is a country of nearly 2 million people covering over 800,000 kilometers. Despite this, roughly 70% of the population lives in the northern half of the country. The Namibian economy is based on 4 pillars: mining, agriculture, fishing, and tourism. Mining generates roughly 1/5 of the country's GDP, which was $9.26 billion last year. Despite being one of the richest countries in South Africa, their per capita income remains low at a mere €120 per month, and almost 30% of citizens capable of working are unemployed. However, one of the most pressing issues facing the Namibian population is malnutrition. Micronutrient deficiency, particularly a lack of iodine, is causing major problems for pregnant women and children. Iodine, an element most often found in the soil, groundwater, and vegetables grown locally, is essential to human growth and development. Over 45 countries are still deficient in iodine, including Namibia. A cross-sectional survey carried out by MOHSS in 1999 revealed that the national average of severe iodine deficiency was high, at 14.9%.
I sat down with Shireen Azmat, PhD and Director of Health at the Winthrop Institute, to discuss the consequences of this deficiency.
Yes, so when one is not receiving enough iodine and their intake is below the recommended levels, the thyroid will stop producing the thyroid hormone thyroxine. Thyroxine is essential to the body as it stimulates heat, oxygen production, and your basal metabolism. Low thyroxine in the blood is known as hypothyroidism, and symptoms include the development of a goiter, the swelling of the neck due to the enlargement of the thyroid gland, spontaneous abortion, stillbirth, infant mortality, impaired mental function, delayed physical development, and cretinism. What is most frightening about a lack of iodine is how important thyroxine is to development. Normal levels are required for optimal development of the brain, and thus these low levels may impair growth of the brain, with cretinism being the extreme form. If this deficiency isn't taken care of, it will have implications for the whole community. Even subtle brain damage leads to reduced cognitive capabilities, and thus people living in areas with iodine deficiency, like Namibia, cannot reach their full potential. People are slower, underdeveloped, tired, with a greatly reduced quality of life. It is often a vicious cycle, and the time has come for it to end.
Recently, we heard about an organization devoted to tackling iodine deficiency disorders, or IDD, head-on. Winthrop Health Organization, a non-profit based in Namibia, is using a $10 million grant they received in January of 2011 to eradicate iodine deficiency in Namibia completely. Our roving reporter Mary Jackson headed to Namibia to learn more about this organization. Hello, Mary. You with us?
Thank you, Ellis. I'm currently in the northern region of Namibia, where iodine deficiency is known to be most prevalent. I'm here to take a closer look at the Winthrop Health Organization. Led by Dr. Rachel Johnson, the Winthrop Health Organization's mission extends beyond eliminating IDD. I was lucky enough to speak to Dr. Johnson about her organization earlier today, and here's what she had to say.
The potential of a whole community is reduced by iodine deficiency. Where it's severe, there is less of a chance of achievement and underdevelopment is perpetrated. The quality of life is poor, ambition is blunted, and the community becomes trapped in a self-perpetuating cycle. We at Winthrop Health Organization hope to break this cycle in Namibia. Our organization plans to intervene when it is most crucial, from the second trimester of pregnancy to the 3rd year after birth, in an effort to reduce national health care costs through preventative care. Additionally, we hope that our model can be replicated to combat other nutrient deficiencies across the nation.
When WHO first arrived in Namibia, they discovered that regular assessment of iodine deficiency was not taking place, with the last national assessment having occurred in 1999. Immediately, WHO partnered with elementary schools to randomly sample students' iodine deficiency levels. As most iodine absorbed in the body eventually appears in the urine, urinary iodine excretion is a good marker of very recent dietary iodine intake. In individuals, urinary iodine excretion can vary somewhat from day to day, and even within a given day. However, this variation tends to even out among populations. Ultimately, WHO hopes to establish regular testing procedures in all of Namibia and introduce regular testing in its 36 hospitals, 281 clinics, and 33 health centers. With assessment of iodine deficiency being taken care of, WHO will shift its focus to advocacy, assembling a panel of experts to work with the Namibian government to ensure that all salt consumed by the population of Namibia is iodized. While salt iodization legislation was passed in 1994, a lack of regulation has perpetuated the consumption of non-iodized salt. The Salt Company of Swakopmund produces 90% of the salt consumed in Namibia and is a large exporter to neighbors. It is unclear how much of the locally produced salt is iodized. Additionally, approximately 10% of salt consumed in Namibia is imported from South Africa. Of this, about half is iodized. However, none of WHO's mission can be accomplished without the full support of the people. Thus, WHO plans to host a series of outreach meetings through the clinics and schools in the towns of Namibia. Central to WHO's mission is the dissemination of information and communication to health professionals and the public. Through this, they hope to increase understanding of the IDD problem, emphasize the importance of using iodized salt, and highlight the potential benefits of IDD elimination. While WHO's three-pronged approach of routine assessment, advocacy, and communication will go tremendous lengths towards aiding in the elimination of IDD in the long term, steps must be taken in the short term as well. Iodine deficiency is an immediate problem, one that cannot be pushed to the wayside while we wait for long-term solutions. Thus, WHO will be utilizing community health workers to distribute iodized oil capsules to those in dire need, mainly pregnant women and children up to the age of 3. It is through this distribution that WHO hopes to stop IDD in its tracks.
I'm here with Dr. Rachel Johnson, Director of the Winthrop Health Organization.
Thanks so much for having me here.
Of course. So Rachel, tell me, do you see your organization partnering with any others in the near future?
Yes, actually, we hope to work with the Universal Salt Iodization Program in Africa to target increased iodization programs in Namibia. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation donates funds, and they did in 2008, to the global efforts to eliminate iodine deficiency through salt iodization in 13 countries. While Namibia wasn't one of the 13 countries, we hope to reach out to this project and gain support for our efforts in Namibia. We plan to work with the salt industry, including producers and distributors, in order to increase the supply and accessibility of adequately iodized salt.
How do you feel your program will last in the long term?
So in the future, we hope that our successful model for iodine deficiency can actually be expanded to implement other programs in Namibia and similar countries. Successful implementation and results will lead to an expansion of our program to combat other nutrient deficiencies such as vitamin A or iron. Once our initial program is in place, it'll be much easier to create additional nutritional programs that can be implemented concurrently with our iodine deficiency program to reach our target populations. Our educational programs can expand as well, and awareness and additional nutritional needs will increase within the Namibian population.
Shireen Azmat shared a similar sentiment when we spoke earlier today.
I think this program has a lot of potential to be successful. For this to happen, it is key to have the cooperation of both the Namibian government and the trust of the local people. Without the trust, it is going to be very difficult to get them to take the oil capsules or attend educational meetings. Until complete salt iodization occurs, the fish oil capsules will provide a good short-term solution, as research in other countries have shown they do help reduce IDD. I have faith that the educational programs, especially if partnered with UNICEF, will help to eliminate this problem in the long term. It's just a matter of organization and keeping up with any potential changes in consumer acceptance, the government or the salt industry.
Clearly, great strides are being made to combat the iodine deficiency issue in Namibia. With the work of the Winthrop Health Organization, this country can get the change it needs to break the IDD cycle and reach its full potential in the future. Join us tomorrow evening when we talk with Shakira and discuss her newest single, Waka Waka, It's Time for Namibia. This is Ellis Bowen for World Nightly News. Thank you, and good night.